Good morning again. I'm Joy Milkowski. You're going to see a couple of different things from me today. I'm sorry, or you're welcome, whichever way it goes. What I'll be talking to you about right now that hopefully you've all come in here to see is AI for sales. I want to be quoted. I want to go down in history as a quote that I want to share with you. And it's this: to sell is human, to scale is AI. I don't want anyone in this room to think that you can sell solely using AI. I think you need to be very careful about how you use AI. Cautionary tale, right? We have to be very, very careful about how we think about AI, how we use it, and we can't ever lose the human aspect of selling. All right, so it goes without saying, AI is here. You can't trip over a headline or certainly a speech that doesn't cover AI and it doesn't talk about AI. And I think the scary part for me, you guys, is AI is not a panacea, right? It's not perfect, but it can be used when used correctly to scale you, to make you better, to make you more informed, right? To make you faster, to make you more effective. All right, so I want to give you guys a couple of pieces of, a couple of resources that you can leverage. One is Jeff Woods. This podcast is worth an hour of your life. Listen to it on 2x speed. It just really will reshape the way you think about AI. Because too many of us have too limited a view of what AI can do. In some cases, you guys, I think it's either one extreme or the other. You're either too limited in what you think it can do, or you think it can do everything. And I do believe that the truth lies somewhere in between. Also, Co-Intelligence, fantastic book, you guys. And what I want you to realize about the book is it's really useful information that's not overly technical, but I think these are two resources as you're considering, right, AI for you and your role. How many of you on Dan Caruso's slide yesterday saw that graph that said like the professional and then the super professional, right? I want you guys to be on that continuum up to super professional, right? Not stuck down in the laggard category. All right. So, anybody who knows, right? Oops. Well, there you go. Adapt or die, right? The Pony Express, right? We didn't need faster horses. We needed a completely different way of thinking about communications. The same is true for us. So what I like to talk about is too many of you think too simplistically about what AI can do. How many of you today are using ChatGPT, Claude, something like that to simply write emails, write articles? Show of hands. How many of you, you're using it to do something, right? I think that you're only scratching the surface, and dare I say, you're using it wrong. You're using it wrong. We're going to talk about how we think you can use it better. All right, so from the book, I want to give you a couple of different nuggets that I think you can use it. And I think it's this. If you leave here with something, what I want you to think about when it comes to AI is I want you to think about using it as your strategic think partner, right? Using it as a way to improve yourself, right? Educate yourself. One of my favorite prompts, you guys, is explain that to me like I'm a fifth grader. Right? So when you hear something and you think, man, I wonder what they're talking about. This is a new thing or whatever. Explain it to me like I'm a fifth grader. Then you prompt it and say, explain it to me like I'm a sophomore in high school. Then you say, explain it to me like I'm college educated. And it will step you up through the process of understanding complex topics. So, the learning accelerator part of that I think is really key. Now, how do we use AI? Right? So I'm here, I own a marketing agency that specializes in telecommunications, right? The lots of folks in this room, I am so privileged to call client and friend. But more importantly, what I want you to realize is we developed this platform because of all the things we saw that were a struggle when it came to strategic selling, right? You guys, strategic selling is a whole different animal. Everybody in this room, who's a carrier rep in this room? Who sells to carriers? Who sells to wholesale? Who sells to big and complex deals, right? How many of you, what's the number one thing you think is important when you're doing carrier sales? Relationships, maybe, perhaps, right? So most of you tell me, I don't really need marketing because I'm in carrier, it's all about relationships. You aren't wrong, right? But what's the way that you can empower yourself to be more timely, more relevant, more at the point of something changing with those relationships so that you can be present, right? So we had so many clients who we were doing manual work. You guys, in the olden days when I was walking uphill both ways in the snow, barefoot, right? In the olden days, what we did was we actually would create complete playbooks for you, right? So you'd say, look, I want to get into sell to Allstate Insurance, right? So if you're a large enterprise, or I want to get into sell more to Verizon, for example. Right? What would happen is we would literally research every person meticulously, and we would go research everything about that person, everything that's going on with Verizon, everything their CEO has said recently and everything, and we would put together custom playbooks for you. Points of view, what you should be saying, questions you should be asking, emails you should be sending, LinkedIn posts you should be sharing. We would do all of that manually because that's what it takes for a complex sale. You can't. How many of you have responded to a cold bullshit email recently? Look around, no hands went up. How many of you send bullshit cold emails? Don't raise your hands. Don't raise your hand because I don't want you to embarrass yourself. Oh, okay, there's one guy. No. So even though you all realize you don't respond to just completely boilerplate, AI-written, terrible emails, yet too many of your companies are sending it. How many of you, by show of hands, believe that one of your value propositions at your company is, we have great service. It's our people. Our people make the difference. Show of hands. Who says that? We have better service. We have better people. Come on now. Some of you are like this because you know I'm about to call you out. You can't say, we're about the people, we're about service and things like that, and then send bullshit cold emails, right? And where you're just spewing your pitch instead of understanding the value and understanding the needs of the prospects that you're serving, right? Notice that you're serving prospects. You're not selling prospects, you're serving, okay? So the reason why I say this is a new old way to sell is what I'm gonna tell you is what we use Intentico for is just to make you better at the old way of selling, okay? So let's look at that, right? People don't want you to send your terrible, pitchy emails that's all about you, right? You want to send just the right contact at just the right time when something's happening in that account, right? You don't want to send the same boilerplate proposal that doesn't really differentiate you and speak to their value, right? You don't want to just go with boring, brand-centric information, right? Some of you, God bless you, you haven't touched your LinkedIn in about 20 years and it shows, okay? But unfortunately, right, here's the thing. I color my gray hair, but I'm in the cohort with you all where I'm starting to become the older side of the generation, and newer folks are far more versed in social media and social selling, and that is how they get information. That is how they are influenced. That is how they are educated. But we're not where they are, and we're not relevant in the way that we need to be relevant. So I want to pop the hood on a few use cases. Here you go. One of the best ways that Intentico can help for any of you in the room who are new is that one of the things it does is it makes it faster to onboard you. So if you've just joined a company and you don't fully understand the talking points yet, or you don't fully understand, right, how that what accounts you're reaching out to and what the value proposition is, guess what? This is a much faster way to onboard, and I'll tell you why. Right? What Intentico does is you load your key accounts. You load those big and strategic deals that you want to track, right? And then it will go find what's new and exciting. Like at Amazon, it's looking for press releases, quarterly earnings calls, annual reports, times their CEO spoke, changes to their leadership, expansions, layoffs, contractions, things like that. So it's looking for everything in the account that matters to you. Here's a piece of great news. It's AI, so we can train it on what matters to you, right? You know, my friend Jerry over there, KFN, is an early adopter of Intentico, and we programmed it to work exactly in what they want to know about their customers. They want to know inflection points. They want to know what's happening in those industries. And it writes emails, it writes LinkedIn posts, it writes voicemails for the sales team that are brand compliant, that tell a good story. So what it does is it's looking for insights and intelligence about their key accounts, and it will write the email for you, right? So how many of us salespeople are copywriters? Very few. How many of you are immediately taking something and putting it into ChatGPT and taking the first offer? Don't raise your hand, because that's the worst thing you can do. What you want to do is take something like this, and what I do tell my friends at KFN is I say, don't even with Intentico, don't take the first offer. Personalize it even more. Make it even more relevant. Make it even more human. Because it's funny, we go through a pretty complex process of making even our AI email sound human, right? I'm constantly, raise your hand, Andrew. This is the chief developer of Intentico right here in the front row. And I'm constantly like, Andrew, make it sound more human. Make it sound more human. And so we have continually refined the process of our content generation to sound more human, more relevant, right? And so what you can do with Intentico is you can look for intelligence about your key accounts. You can find contacts within your accounts, right? So you can continually be looking for more and more contacts in those strategic accounts, and you can be reaching out to them on LinkedIn. You can be sending them emails. You can be sharing voicemails with them. And again, it's a way that you avoid sending those terrible, pitchy, me-centric communications, and instead you can actually send information, emails, and touches that are relevant to the person receiving it. You guys, I'd like to leave you with 3 points too. The things that get you in front of those accounts when you are nobody and nowhere and you're just a gnat flying around their head: recency, novelty, shock value. Recency, novelty, shock value. Right? Those are the things that help you to sort of get into the gray matter of those accounts. You know what else it is? It's eating that elephant a bite at a time. One of people's biggest frustrations when it comes to complex deals is it takes so long to get in. But I have a great story for you. So obviously, I'm all over the place, not looking at my slides. What you'll see on the right-hand side, there are the contacts that you can get from Intentico. It will constantly be finding you the contacts. And again, what's great, you tell us the roles and titles that matter to you. We program it for you. You have your own instance that is trained for you. So it finds the people you want, the titles you want, and it tells the story you want to tell. It looks for the insights and intelligence that matter to you. All right. So the other thing it helps you to do is it helps you to make sure you're always having the most up-to-date point of view. So it's looking for trends and insights that matter to you. So do you really care about, cybersecurity? Great, we'll program that as one of the trends it's looking for. Do you want to know about, fiber to the home? Do you want to know about BEAD funding? Do you want to know about whatever? Whatever the thing is, we actually tailor it to find the insights that matter to you. Now, the cool part is the insights are account agnostic, meaning I can use the insights for any of my accounts. So what clients often do for us, and again, a shout out to KFN, they program their biggest accounts in their account section, but their mid-size accounts where there really isn't as much information to find about them, they use the insights to go after those. All right, so a couple of things. The reason why I'm telling you can build stronger points of view is, remember, we've programmed it for you. So what we can do is you tell me what matters, and when we go looking for the news, we write you a synopsis with bullets. Guess where you can use that? You can use that in your discovery calls to have a more informed conversation. You can use it in your proposals, again, to be more relevant and timely, right? And to position yourself as a thought leader. So the other thing is, again, when I talk about prospecting with a purpose, you go find a great insight, right? You can share the insight. If you've got, hopefully all of you have your Outlook connected with your CRM, right? As soon as you pop that open, it opens in your Outlook that tracks into your CRM. So all of your email prospecting communication just goes right into your CRM and it's tracked there. All right. One of the biggest things I wanted to share with you, remember how I was throwing shade on you guys and telling you need to work on your LinkedIn profile. Sometimes it's hard, you guys, because a lot of sales folks we work with come to us and say, I want to be better about LinkedIn, but I just don't have the time. Does it feel like that sometimes where you're just like, yeah, I want to be better. I know if I had a dime for every time somebody said, I know I should, Joy, I know I should, that's okay. What we've done here is we've made it easier for you to post great information, because remember those insights it's looking for? It'll write you a LinkedIn post. So all you have to do is go on LinkedIn, paste in that do a little editing because, again, you never take the first offer for AI. You always make it better. You always make it sound more like you. And then you can either schedule it for later or you can post it right then. And so you can schedule out 2 weeks worth of LinkedIn posts to make you look like a thought leader, not like a dirtbag salesperson. So in my mind, what can AI do? It can make you better. It can make you faster. It can make you more relevant, more timely if you let it. So what I always like to just remind you of, and I said this yesterday on the panel for any of you who were here, is this is Octavia Spencer. She was a star in the movie Hidden Figures. And when the human calculators were being replaced by the IBM, right, she very wisely saw that I'm going to teach all of these women how to be the human in the loop, because no matter how good AI gets, no matter how much Skynet's coming for us, right, when we're the better human in the loop, when we're that super professional that Dan Caruso talked about, right, AI will not replace you. AI will enhance you. So what can you do with AI, right? I hope you'll stop by and see us at the table out there. At the Access Marketing table, you can see your own customized demo of Intentico. Let us show you what it can do. And don't worry, you guys are going to see me again in about an hour and a half. I'll be back. Thank you very much.